The Swashbuckler is the master of the sword, and with this, I'm going to show you how to use Great Weapon Master and Sneak Attack in your Swashbuckler build. Let's get into it. First things first, your race does not matter at all. I chose Halfling because shouldn't a pirate be lucky? First, I would start Rogue with this stat spread: high charisma, high dex, low strength. I wouldn't worry about the strength. We're going to use the elixirs of strength to fix that. Sleight of hand, a little bit of stealth, and you put that with a deception and intimidation. Only if persuasion is not a choice. Perception's pretty good too, but I'll go with this. For your expertise, definitely sleight of hand because we will be thieving our patukas off, and persuasion. Looking at a beautiful pirate already. Look at her. Already a great pirate. Captain Pockets. We're going to be running them pockets. Anyway, let's level up Miss Pockets. Now, if you want to be a swashbuckler right away, you could go ahead and do that. But I like to set up the stage. So let's go ahead and be a fighter and get the great weapon fighting ability. Now, you may be wondering, why in the world would you want this? Don't worry. I'll get to that. When you get the Fighter 2, you get the Action Surge ability. Really good. Gives you an extra action. The main reason we want Great Weapon Master is for the Falar Aluve. It is a finesse, versatile longsword. We can hold it in both our hands and use the Great Weapon Master feat, which I'm about to get into. And also, we can shriek on our turn, and we can sing like a pirate. I would also like to mention that the sword is a finesse weapon, which allows us to sneak attack with it. And we're going to have some levels of rogue to really use that thing. And our rocket sneak attack just lets us get free damage. I like free. Pirates love free. Now, we finally get to pick our subclass, and of course, we are picking the Battle Master because we are the master of the blade. Maybe even better than Will. We'll take a sweeping attack for our AoE, a trip attack, and an attack we can do on anybody using our to get our battle die added to our damage, and that's menacing attack. Pretty simple, straightforward. If you want to get really in the weeds with it, evasive footwork's pretty good, and repulse is pretty good if you really just want that rapier pirate thing, fantasy. I'm going for a giant sword on a little woman myself. Because that sounds absolutely fantastic. So we're gonna go with fighter. So I'm looking down here and I'm going with the Great Weapon Master. Mind you, I already told you we're gonna use getting the elixirs of strength. Fighter lets us use any weapon in the game. Pretty straightforward. So you're gonna be hitting most of your attacks. And finally, fighter level 5 to get extra attack. You'll get this one extra than you would, but it's real. The rogue level's really worth it. Plus, you gotta want that aesthetic and the answers right away to me. So, and finally, let's get into the rogue part of the build. Now, you should be around the shadow curse around this part of the game unless you're rushing through it. So it would be a good time to start really leveling up your rogue. Around level 8, you should be around doing that thing for Haslin, doing some things of that nature in the Shadow Curse. And you finally become a swashbuckler at level 8. Looking good. Now what do you get? Fancy footwork, of course. So basically, if you hit somebody, they can't opportunity attack you. So you can run away. Maybe around the corner, maybe to the rest of your teammates, which I do a lot. And Raucous Audacity gives you a bunch of initiative just for going into these rogue levels. Also, you no longer need advantage to trigger a sneak attack as long as you are within 5 feet of the target and you don't have disadvantage. So you can do your sneak attack whenever you want now. It doesn't matter as long as you don't have disadvantage. And finally, we hit level 9 where we finally get our Flick of the Wrist, Sand Toss, and Vicious Mockery. All great abilities for our swashbuckling rogue. Flick of the wrist allows us to disarm and get advantage on our next attack. This is huge. Huge for a fighter. If you're not going to risky ring, which I wouldn't all the time because saving throws are, well, important. And no one wants to be stunned unless you're going to one-shot a fight, which I don't think most of us are, let's be honest. And then Sand Toss, super good ability. Allows you to blind enemies and you get advantage. So your next teammate would also have the advantage. And this is my go-to for most times. Just pocket sand. Pretty good. And Vicious Mockery, this is why we have the charisma modifier mostly, because it's amazing. You get to get advantage on people. I mean, give them disadvantage on their next attack against you. Attack roll, not spells. Like spell save DC spells, and you gain advantage on your next attack. So you insult someone and then you hit them. What is more swashbuckler than that? Come on, guys. So you're basically a swashbuckler at level 4. All right, you could go level 9 for Ponche or whatever the heck that is. Whatever, man. Now, here's the tricky part. If you have the Hag's Hair, you just have to get the ability score once. If you don't, you just get it twice. Simple as that. Because you want high dexterity. You're still a rogue. It still helps with your sleight of hand checks. It doesn't matter if you're using an elixir of strength. And eventually you would want to switch out of that anyway. So next level you take fighter 6 for another feat. That'll be dex level 20. And finally you are good to go with the build. Everything else is kind of up to you. I would finish up with an 8-4. Personally, fighter rogue. And for your last one, I would just take whatever flavor you want that would add to the pirate thing. If you can get your charisma up too, you know, just for persuasion checks and stuff of that nature, that would be cool. Let's get into an example of a turn of combat for the swashbuckler fighter. Personally, I don't like leaving things up to chance, and I love playing my builds from start to finish. So I'm going to give you an example of a combat. So right now I'm on pockets. I'm going to try flick of the wrist on this veteran raider. Oh, and look like it hit. And look at that rocket sneak that comes up. That's an extra 14 damage. And then we're going to just, well, his weapon's down. He's looking pretty screwed. We have advantage again. And then for some reason, this man's still alive. And it annoys me. So he has to go. He got to go. Bingo. And just like that, that dude's down in the dirt. Just like that. And that's typical, man. That's typical combat right there. I'll be straight with you. The only required part of this build is the finesse weapon. It's very versatile in what you can actually focus on with your feats and what you want to do. I just personally chose to use the Fleur Louvre and ultimately the Dancing Breeze. All right, so I'm just going to address this right now. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, why not just be a bard? No spell slots on this build. We're just going to use this. We're going to let the sword sing for us. Okay. And personally, what is the point of being a sword master with spell slots? Sounds ridiculous to me. I haven't been using scrolls. I've been using potions in my battles. You know, strictly this person is a real deal pirate. Now, a good ability after you get the dexterity, if you want to, is sharpshooter. But me, I like to get up in there. That's why I get the elixir of strength. Jump to my opponent and start dealing that damage. Or drink a flying potion elixir, fly to them, and start dealing that damage. That's how I prefer to use my bonus action in this particular build. So yes, that is Captain Pockets, the swashbuckling rogue that will save the world from the Illithid menace. Thank you for watching the whole video. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like if you like the video, comment your build suggestions. I've been reading all of them in my previous videos. I love them all. Even though if I don't comment, I just find you nailed it. That's why I didn't comment. You nailed it, bro. And subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I do games I like and play. I cover them. Make build guides as well for the games I play. Because I play games and that's what I do. I'll see you next time on the Gabe McCoy channel. And as always, enjoy your games.